Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and welcome to episode 432. Today is Saturday, December 31st, 2022, and I'm glad you could join me today. It is super glum. It's been non-stop rain since we ended up getting back from my parents' house, so such is life. Would it be? Definitely would like some not rain, but not too much we can do about that right now. What in the world is it that we do here right now? So last week's episode got posted yesterday, and by last week's I mean 2 weeks ago, because apparently I got distracted and didn't hit publish. The busyness sort of reached a sort of crescendo, and then we had our Christmas sort of detox action and what it be. So now it's more just a low-key wandering around, figuring out if there's anything that really needs to happen. Such is life. And it's gonna take a little bit of untangling because things got sort of weird. But I do have new projects. Which is what passes for excitement over here. And maybe I'll even just finish executing this short row so it's a little bit easier to show what's going on. So last year, Firebird Yarns has their clearance sale at the end of the year, and they have an escalating discount as sort of as like a countdown to New Year's Eve. And the past 2 years I've bought yarn, and then I've bought yarn. Period. This year, but my only condition is that, what would it be? That I end up walking to the shop, which is, I guess, like approximately 2 miles away. But it is up the steep side of the hill on the way back. I did not buy any yarn this year because it hasn't stopped raining. Apparently, I don't know when it started raining, but it has not stopped. Apparently today was the record for rainfall in San Francisco since sometime in the 1800s. 3 inches just today. So there wasn't really an opportunity to go. But I am knitting a woolly wormhead pattern called Azula. And for those who are not familiar, Azula is the firebender in Avatar. And so she's also special because she can bend the blue flames. So I decided to do a version of the hat in which I have a pink background, pink, and there's also some other colors that are gonna sort of get in there at some point. And then I'm doing the blue flames. I don't know whether or not the vision of the project entirely worked out because I am using fully spun yarn. The pink is a DK and the blue is a fingering that I'm holding double, and you can't really see the gradient effect with the fingering held double. Honestly, this is probably like the best use for like tonal hand-dyed yarn instead of the the gradient's working great on the top. It is not meeting my vision for the bottom, but I'm still gonna be pretty happy with the hat when I'm done. There are definitely errors that I am overlooking now. And I, am almost done with 5 of the 8 panels. So very, very soon I will have that, and then it'll look something like that. Ish. Maybe I'll take off this hat so that it fits a little bit better. So, like, I'm wondering, like, I don't know, it's probably fine. So, I probably, like, I've been debating whether or not I wanted to do, like, 6 or 7 instead of 8, so that I still have, like, some negative e's. And on it, and that would be totally valid for hats. Just depends on what you're going for. And then we'll bring it up close, and then you can sort of see how the flames are emphasized by the short rows. So that's pretty cool. Does it still look pretty cool? Yeah, it still looks pretty cool, not stretched. So we'll see. We'll see what comes together. But yeah, so I'm definitely in a section where I have like a little bit like less white marled in it, but it's a much more subtle effect than the pattern, and it may end up being very not subtle about where my join is for this. But it will be subtle in the blue. It may not be. It'll be plenty subtle in the blue. It may not be subtle in the pink. And other exciting news, my cold is done, so this episode will not be in 50 bajillion pieces. Very excited about that. What would it be? I must admit that even as an experienced knitter, I was somewhat intimidated by the stitch map that Willie had in her pattern. And you just sort of had to jump in, and I screwed up a couple of times and went back to the beginning and tried again, and the logic of it makes much more sense now, but it's just sort of a just jump in and deal with this sort of situation. Yeah, no, and like it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So have I been debating if I want to do another one, since the amount of yarn I have will enable me to probably make at least 2 hats, probably. I don't know if I'll do a different pattern from the collection. Now that I understand better how it works, I think it will end up working out nicer. It may be the case where, so this is the blues that I ended up having. Yeah, so this one is Berry Trifle, and the other one is the Blue Hole, fully spun. And this one is 75/25 merino nylon, and this guy, and the Berry Trifle is 100% merino. So a little bit different in content, so, but not too crazy. So this is something that I ended up getting for full price when I went to the clearance sale last year. So I feel like it's fitting that I'm at least trying to use it before the end of the year, so it'll be okay. So not too crazy there. I'm just trying to think about, yeah. So what would it be? Is it entirely matching my vision? No. will it be a perfectly good hat? Yes. So nice feel. Would it be fun in other hand spun? Yeah, probably. Honestly, all these patterns probably are actually like just really good for like the hand-dyed yarn stash, where you have some of that tonal variegation, and then all the short rows that you're doing will end up picking up the cool stuff there. And the pattern, or I ended up getting the full ebook that has like all 5 or 6 of the patterns. Pretty sure it's 5. So should be good. Yeah, not too crazy there. So should be good. We'll probably be done pretty soon. Will I continue making hats? I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Where I'm feeling later. Okay. So the other new project is a sock. I don't know whether or not I had started this last week or last time. But I'm getting pretty close to leg length on this. I'm pretty sure I talked about it last week. So I am knitting with my Into the World cable ply hand spun, which you can, I don't know. And I am doing the simple skip sock, but I am adding I'm added an extra rest row between the skips. So you still get some of the texture, maybe easier to see in real life, because this is really busy yarn. This is a fractal cable. So it's pretty busy. I'm knitting them on my size 0 needles for a very firm gauge, but I'm doing 64 stitches. I don't know whether or not I'll feel regret on this. Maybe when I get some of the stitches off for the heel flap, then I'll know for sure. Excuse me. So I'm getting pretty close, I think, to the right length on this, but my projects have been sort of shuffled all about, because this is, or would it be? It'd be the case where the Azula hat is a lot of counting. Like, that seems to be the most surefire way of me getting everything where I want it to be. And then this one is sort of hard to do in the dark. Because when you do have the skip row, then yeah, you sort of need to be able to see what you're doing and what's going on, because I also have the chance of like splitting a ply, or yeah. I think I'm finally now in a section where the cable is that right amount plied. When the beginning of this yarn, it was not the perfect amount of cable. There's just a point in which it sort of pops into the right spot when you're plying it. So perhaps this is just true of the spinning and the knitting of it, is you have to watch it carefully. So yeah, I want to say this is the designer, I think, is Adrienne. I know, I'd probably have to do a little bit of searching for the pattern. Well, now that I've like established the pattern, whatever. I don't really need a pattern anymore after that. It was like after about here, it's like, okay, we're done. But this is very, very dense yarn. So I was contemplating doing like a slightly shorter cuff on this and calling it fine. So doing like a 5-inch cuff instead of a 6-inch cuff, but who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. I think I'm pretty close to that point now. But definitely got some knitting done in the last 2 weeks, and this won't be knitting that lasts for 6 months. I certainly hope not. So not too crazy there. Let's see. Let's see if it's readily available. Adrian Coop. That was pretty close. So not too crazy there. Should be fun. It's nice to be working on some smaller things. In other news, I did block my Great Page brioche design. And I may end up doing like a little bit of research to figure out if there is like a good name for it. But I did manage to smooth out the crinkles. And I do feel somewhat justified now in my original bind off plan, because it was binding a little bit. So it's not like it's not like it's anything terrible, but it is the case where you can tell that you can tell that there is some tension and restriction there due to the bind off that I ended up selecting. So nominally as a Ravelry project, I think this is called Brioche Beads. I'll probably give it a different name now that it is of its full glory. And so it's pretty deep. So part of it just depends on what I'm trying to go for, but you can definitely wrap it as you can wrap it as a bandana. It is in fact big enough and crescenty enough to just lie there, chill as can be. And then you can still see like all of the pattern at once. It's also long enough so that you can wrap and tie. And actually this is the double wrap. It's maybe a little small for that, but we can make it work. We can still tie. So what it be? So we still got, there we go. Let off some of the pressure. So, but it's definitely the case where ideally it would have been just a little bit looser on the edge, and then I definitely could have totally obliterated all of the little where to be. I think I did a good job. It blocked out. So it still smells faintly of eucalyptus. It's all dried despite the nonstop rain. Pretty cute. It's very cozy. And definitely turned out pretty well. Sorry, I'm like rejiggering slightly. We can get a double knot. We can get a double knot. So like I almost feel like I need to go like a. That's got a lot of drama. Oh, let's see. We can even pull it down a little bit more. Okay, so not too crazy. I think there's one end still floating around, but it's not the end of the world. So, put a beat. So it didn't turn out too crazy. Would it be? There's definitely some prickle from the llama guard hair, which sort of is annoying. But I don't know, there's only so much that you can do about that. But I don't know, in this configuration, you can definitely tell. Mine was just a smidge tight there. But like, I did not have a lot of extra yarn. Oh well. So that is the story there. Free my hair. So it looks very lovely. It's very much so my colors. Little pops of other color for fun. But yeah. And you can definitely like, it just blends right into the chair. So it should be good. And we'll see whether or not I ever actually write things up, because that's a distinct roadblock, but there she is. And definitely the case where, what would it be? It didn't end up, like, it's definitely, the crescent is pretty darn strong. So while the triangle is pretty obvious sort of in the shaping, the overall shape was still pretty crescent-y in the grand scheme of things. So the way it blocked out definitely seemed to be that way. So, not too crazy there. Glad it blocked out nicely. And that wonderful brioche way, completely reversible, though maybe harder to tell the other way. So, it was finished last week, but now it's really finished now. So, on the spinning front, I still haven't even opened up that bag of fiber. It's all hanging out on the wheel. It was probably sort of rude to my poor drive band. But yeah, so I did not succeed in spinning my bin this year. Oh well. It was apparently not the season of spinning for the latter half of 2022. And not too much, or would it be like whatever? It just wasn't the time. So, and I'm not even sure whether or not there will be a spin them in next year. Like it's definitely been tapering off the last couple of years, so it would not surprise me that it's not going on. What would it be? It's been like I haven't been contributing. So I did manage to get, I feel like I got quite a few items done done in it. But yeah, whatever. Such as life. So the key to this is counting. I don't even know why I picked it. So what would it be? So you can't even see it. You can't even see it in frame. But yeah, so I still have my postal box of fiber. Um, some of that fiber has been waiting a very long time. My sample continues, but it's okay. We'll get it all worked out in the end. So I probably blew right past where I wanted to be. Oh, I did blow past. So will I get back to it eventually? Probably. It'll be fine. Let's see. Other things I wanted to share. So because I have not yet finished my samples, I have not yet started my advent calendar either. Would it be? I'm not sure what order things will end up going in. As you do. Apparently we're supposed to go to 18. See, this is a driftful project to pick up during the podcast. Throw it down on the ground. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what my spitting plans are going to look like. It may just be where I take it one step at a time and go from there. I can definitely see the situation in which what would it be? It may be the case where I decide to open up all of my base 12 now. Like, the surprise is definitely over. And whatever, get through that as I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure what is inspiring me. Like, I'm fairly certain the color palette is Aces. But the rest, who knows? Whatever. So that's the story there. Or if I'll end up resuming the sweater spin, who knows? I now have my fleece up on the shelf. I may need to do a little bit of more rearranging so I can get the other fleece up there too. I didn't want to plop one in the other because all of my other fiber is in there, so we'll figure out what the appropriate yarn shelf solution is going to be. Will I be doing the Giant Stash photo tomorrow? I don't know. I've been doing it for quite some time. But like, it's definitely like a several hour epic, and I no longer have several hours of uninterrupted time. So definitely not several hours of uninterrupted time during daylight. So I'm not sure where I break on that one. I also have the day after off too. We'll see how everything. We'll just have to figure out which way makes sense. Whatever. Life is different now. That is for sure. So, also happy delivery. We were a little confused. did not seem like a good day for delivery, but here we are. Whatever. So that is the story there. In other news, there will probably, I don't know, I guess that is an interesting question. Well, it's gonna be pretty delayed. The next episode will be in quite some time. And there's a whole lot of decisions and craziness that will probably need to be made before then, because I'm fairly certain that for a couple of international flights and 2 weeks without a Bambino, like, it does seem reasonable that there will be a lot of time for knitting, but then maybe it's all spent working all the time. I'm not 100% sure on the matter. Unfortunately, I do not have coworkers going with me on this journey. I'm meeting coworkers who are already there. So what would it be? So I will need to decide what it is that's coming with me, and then basically figure out how much shenanigan and pain and whatever I want to get myself into. This does because I am unsure about what way that ends up breaking. So then, because if we're gonna go for the like there's probably two different schools of thought. You have the project with so many yards that there is no possible way that it can be completed. Right now, the benefit of what's going on right now is that I have 3 knitting projects in this bag. They're all super highly compact, and one of them isn't even cast on yet. So you could go from that direction. Alternatively, I do have a lot of sweater quantities in my stash, so it maybe makes sense to select that sort of magnitude of project. But then I'll be carrying around a lot more stuff. So not entirely sure how I feel on that one, but it is a valid use of stash for sure. So definitely not bringing the spindle project with me. Alternatively, you could probably get a shawl magnitude project, and that may be a good compromise between how much stuff I'm bringing with me, that sort of thing. I'll look unclear. I still haven't broken the logjam on why the pattern is weird. I still haven't emailed the designer about why the pattern is weird. Whatever, such is life. Still haven't figured out if, based on my projected yarn usage, it would have been fine with the amount of cobweb that I had at the beginning, in which case my bead number was perfectly adequate. So many options. So many options. I don't know whether or not I have the will in me to break that logjam today so that I would really know and then get beads ordered and whatever. This, me maximizing is probably also not helping. Whatever. Such is life. So, because I'm fairly certain at this point that I definitely wouldn't run out of that project. It just slightly annoying. It's just like the mild level annoyance because a project with beads can be a huge mess. So I would have to be prepared with. I would probably need a good bead containment solution in place for that. In order to make that happen with my vision. So I might Erodibi. I haven't cast on my pretty thing variation. So there's that. I probably do need to figure out what needle size I wanted to use for that. It's another thing that I think is on my phone. That was not what I wanted to have happen. There we go. Is it on there? It's actually not there. Did I neglect to actually make sure that it was on my phone? I suppose that was convenient that I didn't end up making that happen. I have not responded to Jose's question a month ago. I might have answered your question already, so that's fine. Would it be, as you can tell, things have been slightly more difficult than usual. Life is a little bit on the hard end. Okay. So we are looking for, just make sure this is actually up. It's very interesting because I swore that I had made sure that it was on my phone. But apparently not. Like, I swear. Maybe I had failed at opening it in books. That's a distinct possibility. Because for whatever reason, things have been made much more challenging in terms of this is the program that I want these things to open in. In other news, the Yarn Harlot's second grandchild, or whatever, another grandchild of the Yarn Harlot has arrived at the world. So this is, whew, I have to get the appropriate amount of tilt here, but this is the pretty thing, which I feel like would translate very nicely into brioche, especially for like the twisted ribbing portion of it. And like it has twisted ribbing, it has some garter in there, like, what would it be? Like, I feel like it could translate pretty nicely. It sort of loses the ribbing aspect that like really makes it sort of like pop for there. Would it be, what are they calling for? 61 rounds. there is a chart in here. Okay, I see now. So there's just like, what would it be? I can definitely I don't know, it may actually be sort of wild to translate this looking at it again. Like maybe it just needs to be just plain whatever. I'm not sure. We'll get it worked out. It'll be good brain candy regardless. So we're recommending US 4. A 3.5 millimeter needle for all the civilized people in the world. So that would not be a big project. So I definitely have the raw materials available. I just need to make a choice. What would it be? And it was very satisfying to wind some yarn, so there's that too. But yeah, so that's sort of where my mind is at right now is what would it be? Keep it small or just go crazy pants? What would it be? Like in terms of not having a ridiculous number of things to juggle, it probably means like fingering weight sweater. Because that way it's like 3 or 4 balls of yarn. It will not be the cabled sweater or the ridiculous or the skirm ring. I don't, because that's 50-gram balls of yarn, and that just seems like a recipe for dropping a ball of yarn somewhere in Asia. So, but what's, and I think is the case where, yeah, I don't know what way I ended up wanting to go there. I also have the other yarn that I did actually buy in clearance last year at Firebird. Could be a valid option. Maybe I get marginal and I select one of the Sportway patterns. I'm not sure. One thing that was I know, I'm actually thinking very, very hard about Poet. So that was yarn that I ended up getting at SSK. And I will be going to SSK next year. Yay! The lottery smiled kindly upon me and selected me right away. So that was really exciting. Yeah. So I think that is the direction I'm leaning at the moment, because I tried on Leslie's Poet at SSK and it was absolutely fabulous. I even got light colored yarn to knit it in. And that might be the right compromise between a reasonably complicated pattern, not too many balls of yarn, pretty easy to see. And something that I already have yarn for makes life easy. So probably that. But we shall see. So, is it even handy? Yeah. It should be super lovely. Yeah, so this is wool linen blend. So, should be pretty interesting. Excited to see what comes of it. And then I think this ended up being, yeah, 437 yards, so. Nothing, or would it be? So, may be worth trying. Will probably be fun. Hopefully the linen content isn't too much. It's like, I don't have time for physical therapy. So, what would it be? So we shall see what way I end up breaking. Because it's possible it may almost be like a month before I podcast again. Alternatively, it could be 3 weeks. It will definitely not be next week or the week after. So we'll see what way it ends up breaking. I will probably have lots of excitement and wonder to share with you guys at the time. But it's possible that I will be completely delirious. It just depends whether or not I sleep on the airplane, but I'm getting back. Hope there are no problems. But yeah. So we'll see what goes down. Should be fun. And if it's not fun, at least it'll be interesting. There'll be stories. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye bye.